My name is Wayne Goodwin, and it's always good to be in the house of the Lord. I am our incumbent insurance commissioner. Thank you to RWCA and to many folks here who endorsed me in 2008. I come from Hamlet, North Carolina, product of our public schools. Married, have two very young children, served 8 years in the legislature, supported Zan Blue for Speaker, served as Assistant Commissioner of Insurance, and for the last 4 years I've been the Commissioner of Insurance, saved us $1.2 billion through rate cuts, refunds, rebates, and restitution, fought insurance fraud, and been able to help recover $49 million for victims. I recognize that there's a balance required in order to be the Commissioner of Insurance, and I think it's very important to have someone who's independent and not affiliated with the insurance industry. I've fought all my life for fairness, and I'm very pleased to have bipartisan support. My name is Wayne Goodwin. I'm our Commissioner of Insurance, and I'm seeking re-election.
Hello, my name is James McCall. I'm one of 3 Republican candidates for Insurance Commission. I grew up in Davidson, North Carolina, home of Davidson College. I graduated from public high school, North Mecklenburg High School. After that, I went to Duke and graduated with a degree in public policy science. Came back to Charlotte, worked for a large insurance company in Charlotte, eventually managed their entire book of business. 30 years ago, I went out on my own, decided to become a self-employed businessman. I do own 2 insurance agencies, one in Mooresville, North Carolina, which is my home base, and then I own another one in Cornelius, North Carolina, Mecklenburg County. I live in Mooresville. I've been married for 33 years, and I have 3 sons. They all graduated from NC State.
Good evening. I'm Susie Daughtry, and I am a retired teacher from North Carolina. If elected, bear in mind I have one question with 2 parts, so listen very carefully. Can you clarify if it's true that residents in coastal counties who do not themselves live in beachfront property, not within 20 miles of the ocean, have experienced an increase in their property insurance? The rates because of storm damage incurred to beachfront properties over the past decade. The second part to that, if it is true, in your opinion, is it fair that residents who do not live directly on the coast and whose property value is only a fraction of that of wealthy beachfront homeowners should help to bear the expenses of insuring and rebuilding someone else's beachfront property, realizing that many parts of southeastern North Carolina, take Pender County for an example, are economically depressed, and B, wealthy beachfront property owners have made the decision to build a home where there is a known hazard of hurricanes.
I commend you on your question. Regarding the 2 parts, the number 1 issue when I ran for Insurance Commissioner in 2008 was coastal property insurance. Though the Insurance Commissioner sets the cap on some of the rates that we're talking about for our coastal and beach areas are actually they're set in a different way. But the legislature established 40 years ago the beach plan, which is a wind pool. The legislature 20 years ago, instead of just having the wind pool cover the beach, decided to move it inland to the folks who are not on the water. So the answer to your first question is that yes, the rates, the homeowners insurance rates for folks who live not on the water, but on the coastal areas further inland, for some of them they have indeed gone up. In many ways, it's a direct function of the legislature's decision, making public policy decisions. In other ways, it's also a function of who has sustained the damage. Second part of your question, is it fair? This is a tough question because insurance is a big pool. I will tell you that it's not fair when you have folks who are rebuilding McMansions on the sand every time there's a big storm, while folks who have modest homes where they've spent their entire lives and they lose one home and can't rebuild the second one. It's just not fair. But we have to keep in mind the way the law is set. It's not set by me, it won't be set by Mr. McCall, it won't be set by whoever the insurance commissioner is. The law is set by the legislature. Our job, my job as insurance commissioner, is to make sure the rates are as fair as they can be within the law that's existed, and that's why I have not raised any insurance rate on homeowners insurance during my time as insurance commissioner. But it's a very good question, it's very complicated, and I'm hoping that the legislature will adopt recommendations that I've made recently to help address those concerns.
Well, that's a great question. It makes me think that you're from one of those counties out there. The coastal insurance and the beach insurance in North Carolina is a tremendous problem economically. There are families that live in the coastal areas not directly on the beach. They're suffering horribly right now for the lack of a market in eastern North Carolina. A lot of people want to blame it on the really expensive beach houses, but to be honest with you, it's the coast and the beach, okay? It's both of them. Insurance companies take recommendations from modeling companies, and they have estimates of how many counties will be hit in a 30-year storm, and how many will be hit in a 40-year storm, all the way up to 164 years. They have projections about which county is going to suffer what amount of damage. And that's why these rates are set the way they are. But, you know, we have a great opportunity right now to work this out. And I'll tell you the reason it needs to be done is because not only is it affecting the coastal counties, it's now affecting the entire state of North Carolina. There are probably 200,000 policyholders across the state, all the way up into the mountains, that are having their insurance policies canceled because the insurance companies don't want to mess with it anymore. They don't want to mess with the beach property, and they don't want to mess with the coastal property. So this problem has spread throughout the state. It affects all policyholders now. And the people in the western part of the state have said in the past, why do I have to pay for people that have beach houses? Why do I have to pay for people that live on the coast? Well, now they're finding out why. Okay, because North Carolina is a coastal state. The hurricanes can affect Charlotte, they can affect Raleigh, they can affect the coastal counties, and they most definitely can affect the beach. And the market right now, the market in coastal beach North Carolina is shut down. There is no policies being sold. Okay? I was at a legislative study committee last week, and these legislators sit around talking about all these ideas, and none of them are solving the problem. There's no market out there right now. Nobody's selling insurance. The only people you can buy from is the beach plan. Okay, the beach pool, the high-risk pool, which those rates are controlled by the state. But that's the only market available. Tell that to the guy that owns a $30,000 house up in Elizabeth City that, you know, has a low-wage job, and his insurance is being canceled because nobody wants to write his house. It's a tremendous problem. It needs to be addressed right now. It's gotten way out of hand.